and welcome to another edition of Issues with Jide. Here we talk about actions and inactions of those who shape our national landscape and political landscape and how they impact us positively or otherwise. I'm Ibrahim Shita. Today on the show, explosion rocks Kaduna Airport as 2 NAMA officials killed. We'll also discuss the APC National Convention and the matters arising. And later on the show, we'll look at the Super Eagles and their path to Qatar 2022 World Cup. In the course of the program, we'll take your questions, but first, subscribe to our YouTube channel and drop your questions in the comment section. I have joining me via Zoom, the master himself, Babajide Kolade-Otitoju. It's good to see you again, BKO.
Yeah, I'm happy to do this with you again today.
Great. So let's begin with the latest news from Kaduna. 2 persons were said to be severely injured after an IED detonated at Hayin Danmani community in Igabi local government area. Meanwhile, suspected terrorists also allegedly invaded the Kaduna International Airport and prevented the Lagos inbound Asman aircraft from taking off. So what do you make of this, latest developments?
Yeah, in the last few days, up to 120 persons have been killed by bandits in Kaduna State, in Kagoro, in Jama local government, Kaura local government of Kaduna State. Bandits have been attacking communities and taking people's lives as if people's lives do not matter. Now, the Kaduna airport is the most dangerous in our country because the airport, behind the airport is a huge forest, and this forest leads to Briningwari, which is one of the most dangerous parts of our country because of the presence of bandits in that area. Bandits have been operating with reckless abandon in the Briningwari area. In the airport in Kaduna, flights don't operate throughout the day. In fact, before now, incoming flights will not come in as soon as it is 9 a.m. That was done to protect passengers and even staff of the FAM, Federal Air Force Aviation, what's it called? FAAN. So what has happened today is not entirely a surprise to me because remember that in that same area where the airport is located, students of the Forestry Institute, Afaka, in Kaduna, were kidnapped and they were in the hands of these bandits for weeks. So that whole area is dangerous. That whole area, you have a lot of bandits operating with reckless abandon, attacking bus passengers along the Kaduna Bridge. It's a situation in which, because we have not done enough to protect that, come bolder, and they are now being seen to be attacking kill people. So it's not a big surprise to me that they came to the tarmac, they came to the runway, and actually prevented the aircraft from taking off, because once the pilot sighted armed men, he took the decision to not take off once he saw gunmen on the runway. So I just hope that we can do a lot better at protecting our people. If our people are being killed in their communities in Kaduna, we don't expect that air travelers would also come under any form of threat. Our airports, the perimeter of our airports should be protected sufficiently so that the bandits or terrorists, as some people call them, would not be able to constitute any threat to people who have chosen to fly because our roads, our highways are not safe.
Can you hear me, Bikeo? All right, great. Right, so we'll
Yes,
continue.
I can hear you.
We'll definitely revisit that in the course of the program. Let's turn our attention to one of the biggest stories of today. Finally, the news from the grapevine has now been confirmed. 6 national chairmanship aspirants in the ruling All Progressives Congress have stepped down for President Muhammad Buhari's preferred candidate for the position. That's Senator Abdullahi Adamu. Is the party on course to deliver a rancor-free convention?
I think so. And the party has also taken the right decisions to ensure that its efforts, whatever they do at this convention, do not amount to nothing in the final analysis. That is what we have seen with some of the decisions that the party has taken. For example, despite the fact that the Attorney General of the Federation decided to go to court or through a proxy, decided to challenge the Section 84 subsection 12 of the Electoral Act. The APC took the wise decision to stop political appointees of Mr. President from being voting delegates at this convention. So at this convention, they are merely observing that no illegality has been committed, because whether we like it or not, the electoral law is in place, at least until the final court in the land rules that Section 84 subsection 12 of the electoral law is in violation of the fundamental human rights of people. So the party wisely said, you political office holders, you are not going to vote at this convention, but you can watch proceedings, you can be observers. So that is what the party has decided to do. Secondly, the party also barred delegates from states where they have cases in court regarding the congresses conducted in those states from taking part in the voting. So those delegates from states like Bayelsa, states like Akwa Ibom, states like Taraba, they are not going to vote in this convention. Why? Because their cases are still in court. So whatever they do at this time will be in contravention of the law. So they are not going to vote. The party has wisely decided to exclude them from voting. Now, it's been tough to get some candidates, some aspirants to step down. We know that it's not easy. People have been preparing for the election. People who have been preparing, working hard, spending money to get party members to support them for the position of chairman of the party. Now, they've been told to step down for the candidate, the preferred candidate of the president. Well, APC has often chosen their national chairman by consensus. But as I always say, consensus does not really mean unanimity. It doesn't mean that everyone is in agreement. But in the spirit of unity of the party, some people have chosen to put their ambitions aside and step down for the candidates that the president prefers, and that is Senator Adamu Abdullahi from Nasarawa State. So far, so good. We've seen Senator Akume, who is a minister in the Buhari cabinet, coming out on behalf of his colleagues to submit the list of people who have agreed to step down for the candidate of the president. I like the provision of the Electoral Act, which stipulates that you must, before consensus can happen or be deemed to have taken place, all the aspirants must put it in writing that they have agreed to step down for a particular candidate. So as we have seen now, you cannot say that, okay, consensus has taken place without the express
agreement,
permission of the candidate himself. He has to put that in writing. He has to commit himself that indeed he has decided to step down, and that's what we've seen those aspirants do. They have put it in writing that they are stepping down for the candidate of the president. They may not be happy about the way things have gone, because if you ask me, Adamu could not have won that election if it was going to be resolved by voting. But the president has had his way, and his candidate is going to become the next chairman of the party.
All right, that being said, BKO, the option of consensus being preached by the president and those around him clearly suggests that his insistence on the insertion of the use of consensus in Electoral Act Amendment 2022 was a deliberate political strategy. So if the APC tonight adopts most of its NWC members by consensus, would it then mean this will open the way for the party to also use the same scheme in adopting its candidate for the 2023 election?
No, that for the presidential primaries, for example, that is not likely to happen.
Okay.
That is not. That one is going to be far more competitive for anyone to think that the candidate of the party, the presidential candidate of the party will emerge by consensus. I do not see that happening. I do not see that happening. As I said before, people like Baba Konde emerged by consensus. People like Oyegun emerged by consensus. So it's not a new thing, you know. And what it does is that it ensures that you do not spend so much time on voting, because the voting could last more than 24 hours. So at least that will save them some time, and they can then begin to focus on other things. But it's for one to think that that principle can then be taken to mean that the governorship primaries, the presidential primaries of the party, or even the primaries for the National Assembly seats, you will see people emerge by consensus. That will be extremely tough. At that point, the party will not be able to stop people from contesting against one another. I don't see that happen. And I also believe that people should be left to contest against one another, so that we can know who truly is more popular. If you get away with that in terms of the national chairmanship of the party, you may not be able to convince people to settle for a presidential candidate by consensus. I really don't see that happen.
All right. So would you not, looking at what has transpired today, talking about the consensus of the thing, does it now show that our democracy is growing? Or what does this mean? What implication does it have on what they call the nascent democracy that we practice in Nigeria?
No, it doesn't show that democracy is growing. The reason the party has opted for consensus is to ensure that they have a rancor-free and a convention that is not problematic in any way. You know, this does not suggest the growth of democracy at all. There should be a level playing field. Let people contest for those positions. But what we see increasingly is powerful people imposing their choices on the majority of party members and calling that consensus. Consensus, when there are people who have been seeking that position for so long. You can't tell me, for example, that Adamu outspent others looking for this national chairmanship. He is one of the last, or he was one of the last to enter the race. But today, because the president preferred him, he's now being imposed on others. So if you ask a lot of the governors, it's not as their own desires in the background and let the party be able to conduct a rancor-free convention. So it's a big sacrifice on the part of the aspirants to concede against their will, to concede just so that the party can move forward. You know, many of the party members are so excited that this convention has come, and they want to make sure that they get this convention out of the way so that the party they can focus on more pressing and far more important issues, including the presidential primaries of the party, which would define the future of the party. Because if it's not properly handled, then APC could be in big trouble. So I do not see this as the evidence of growth and development of democracy. Right. I'll be happy to see people allowed to contest, show their strengths, and show just how popular they are. You know, let the people who belongs to the people, let the generality of party members have a greater say in decision making, in choosing who leads them.
Well, I think it's because of the fear of litigation that will ensue afterward, you know, after the convention. Maybe that's the fear that they decide to go, you know, with consensus. But we'll get back to that. And we've got some questions as we get started too on our YouTube channel. Keep sending your questions. Let's change tack by talking about, you know, what we saw yesterday night. The game ended, talking about Nigeria, Ghana face of yesterday, Super Eagles and, you know, Ghana. You know, the game ended in stalemate. What does this result, I mean, who does this result favor?
Because the second leg is going to be played in Abuja specifically, you can say that it's in favor of Nigeria because we have the chance to use home advantage. If we can pack the stadium full and with everybody rooting for our players, and if our players deliver on the day, if our players rise to the occasion, journalists found out that, look, we have a fantastic crop of players, but the problem is they play way below their potential. They play badly most of the time. No coordination, no discernible pattern of play. And this is the reason that teams that naturally should be beaten mercilessly by Nigeria sometimes even want to beat us. So you cannot say with finality that because the second leg is in Nigeria, we are qualified. We have to work hard on the day. We were lucky that we did not concede any goal because the Ghanaians clearly outplayed us. In terms of teamwork, they were better than us. And in terms of shots on goal, they were better. I think that we did very well yesterday. You know, he made some fantastic saves. We naturally expected to be under pressure because we were playing away from home, and given the rivalry between both countries, we knew that they would really attack us from the blast of the whistle. But Nigeria has a better team than these Ghanaians
Okay.
if they can play with teamwork. But that teamwork is lacking. We are hardly able to put 5 passes together without the without the opponent taking the ball from us. That's not the mark of a well coached, well groomed, well drilled soccer side. We are not there at all. We need to really improve. If we want
very
to,
quickly. So does that mean that Nigerians, the Super Eagles, will be under pressure playing at home in Abuja?
Of course, we'll be under pressure. If we had won the first leg, even if it was by low goal, that will have strengthened our confidence, and we will approach the game in a different dimension. But now that we have failed to win, we have failed to score, and we hardly even troubled the opponent's area, now we know that it is make or mar for us in Abuja. And no one is sure that the crowd in Abuja will be impressive enough to push our players over the line. The players know that they will be under pressure to deliver. And when that happens, sometimes mistakes crop up and you can even lose the game. We've seen Cameroon beaten at home by Algeria. So we've seen Egypt also beat Senegal. So we have to work harder. Ghana has had a terrible Nations Cup, and all that they are hoping for is just to beat Nigeria and qualify for the World Cup. So we have to stop them from achieving that dream. But these players have to work hard. The team has to play much better. There has to be cohesion. No matter how talented a team is, if there is no cohesion, you cannot win matches. Football is a team sport. Our players are not playing with cohesion. They can't put passes, a string of passes, like 6, 7 passes together. I mean, it's just terrible. It's a difficult watch for most people seeing the way we are playing. We didn't look like a team that was properly coached and properly drilled.
All right, so
I just hope that we can get through this phase.
Right. That being said, Stanley Maduka is saying, BKO, do you think that Amokachi was being patriotic for predicting that Ghana will win Nigeria or win against Nigeria 1-0 in yesterday's match? I want to believe that he's jealous of Eguavoin.
No, you cannot say that he's jealous. He's entitled to his opinion. And look, if we look at the way the match went, we were lucky not to have considered a goal. We were very lucky. We had our hearts in our mouth on many occasions. And look, if Ghana had better players up front, because they just had Jordan Ayew, if his elder brother Ampu was in that match, because that is the player who drives the team forward. If he was in that match, maybe the result would have been different. This is not a particularly good Ghanaian side. Ghanaians have always had fantastic finishers, fantastic attackers. This Ghanaian team didn't have bites up front. They played well, they controlled the midfield, but they didn't have that bite up front. If they had that bite up front, honestly, the outcome would have been different. So Amokachi must have expected, based on the records of matches between both teams, that we will lose narrowly. I don't see that as lack of patriotism, and I don't see that as jealousy. Right. I could have predicted that we will lose too.
Okay, right. Okay,
but that won't mean that I hate Ecuador.
True. Let me quickly chip this in. Stanley Madika is still asking, why did the wicked referee deny us our penalty? I think it was brought over by Ghana. The way we think.
In this era of the VAR, any infringement leading to a goal or leading to um, a penalty has to be checked. I knew that that penalty would not be given to us because I saw that the player was stripped just before he grabbed the ball. Yes, he grabbed the ball and he shouldn't have grabbed the ball, but he was stripped. So by the time the referee looked at the monitor, he was convinced that he shouldn't have taken that decision, and he he decided to reverse himself. I think that he took the right decision. I cannot now, as a Nigerian, just because I love my country, then expect my country to win by hook or crook or win in a crooked manner. I want us to beat Ghana silly, but beat them within the rules of the game.
All right. So Olushola Julius, is asking question in relation to the first topic that we had. That's Kaduna. He said, BKO, are you sure we are winning this battle against bandits and terrorists, most especially in the northwest and north central? BKO, is this what we bargain for as Nigerians?
No, we are not winning the war. We are losing the war against these guys. Many of the attacks on our people, many of the killings are not even reported. So no one should deceive himself that we are winning the war. I've said before that in the northeast, we are doing a tremendous job. Boko Haram's capacity to inflict damage on our troops, on our communities, have been reduced drastically. The troops are doing well in the northeast, but in the northwest, we are losing the war. Bandits are becoming more and more daring. Bandits are killing people every day, and a lot of killings are not even reported. Bandits are stopping farmers from going to farms. Bandits are imposing levies on communities. Bandits are imposing district heads on communities in Sokoto, in Zamfara. You can imagine, or a bandit to go to a community and say, look, this is your district head from now on. This is the person that you deal with. I mean, it's just similar to what Boko Haram was doing those days. So we are not winning the war in the northwest. We are far from winning the war. The strategies that we have adopted have failed woefully, and the government must be able to tell itself the truth that in the area of security especially, it has failed. It has disappointed Nigerians, especially in the northwest. We are not going to be politically correct. We won't try to be politically correct. We want the truth. And people watch their fellow Nigerians dying and choose to keep quiet because they don't want people to say they are criticizing the government. They need to search their conscience. They need to realize that they could be victims or victims. The people who are being killed are Nigerians. They are not from outer space. They are not from Mars. So we have an obligation, the government has an obligation to protect our people. 120 people dead in Kaduna within a matter of days apart. I mean, this shouldn't be happening. We are not at war. We are not at war.
Right, BKO. Koyejo Sunday says, please enlighten me on amalgamation, the 1914 amalgamation. Why Wont Nigeria when amalgamation agreement exists? Because it's like Wont Nigeria is not working. Do you get the question?
What did you say?
Yeah, Koyejo Sunday says, it says, please enlighten me on 1914 amalgamation. Why Wont Nigeria when the amalgamation agreement exists? Because it's like Wont Nigeria is not working. I think that's the bottom line of his question.
See, you can't, I understand where it's coming from. Federalism as we practice it in Nigeria is not working as it should. There are so many things that are wrong. But if we can find a president who will unify our country, the biggest problems that we have is this insecurity and the evident division between Nigerians. We have never been as divided as we are now. So we need a president, a president in 2023 that will be able to galvanize our people, be able to unite us, that will be able to make Nigerians see themselves as one people brought together by God. That is the only solution. If we do not find that kind of president, agitation for the dismemberment of our country will continue. And if it continues, no one knows where it will all end. So we need a president that will truly unite our country and make us see ourselves as one people, the way the president of Rwanda has done. In Rwanda today, there's no such thing as Tutsi or the other tribes. It is one people. They see themselves as Rwandan people. They do not identify themselves by their ethnic origins anymore. So we need not just a government of national unity, but a government that commits to uniting Nigerians the way it has never been done, so that Nigerians will continue to see themselves as one. I can understand the frustrations of many who think that this current arrangement is not working. But I have not given up on my country, and I believe that the time will come when some of these problems will be addressed, and Nigerians will start seeing themselves as one people brought together by the Almighty.
All right, we have about 4 minutes to go. Let me quickly chip in this question. To Niger says, we need to recruit over 500,000 soldiers. West Africa should be placed under state of emergency and kick out all foreign troops from the Sahel. You agree?
Yes, we need to do that. And there's nothing wrong in even asking for help. There's nothing wrong at all. Foreign fighters are coming into Niger Republic from Mali, from Burkina Faso, and some of them are coming into our country, fighting on the same side with ISWAP. So we've got to find a way to block these people from coming into our country. We need to have tighter border controls. Our borders are too porous. That's why you find people coming into our country through Niger Republic. Niger Republic has extensive borders with Nigeria, from the northeast right up to the northwest. We have border with Niger Republic, extensive border stretching up to about 1,000 kilometers, and a lot of those borders are porous. So it's a big problem for us. People coming in from Burkina Faso into Mali and then into Niger Republic, and from Niger Republic into our country. We have seen them operate, joining bandits in the northwest, joining ISWAP in the northeast. So we've got to do something to cleanse our land of these undesirable elements.
All right, so we'll be coasting you. Victor Ojinma says, please, Jide, some of us in the UK are no longer seeing the number to call during journalist hangouts. Okay, we'll communicate your concern to the producer of that program. Let's end with this question from Inkolufemi. I'm sorry if I didn't get that name correctly, but the question is, looking at the political, economic, and security events in Nigeria from afar, one gets the feeling we are simply not serious and people will keep leaving, even for countries like Togo. BKO, any hope?
Yeah. For us to get out of the woods, we need a succession of good leadership. Good leaders. We can have 3 electoral cycles that produce quality leaders. 3 electoral cycles that produce quality leaders. I want to believe that we will be able to solve if not most of the problems confronting us as a nation. Insecurity is one of the reasons people don't even want to live here. I know Nigerians who work in Kano and who work in Katsina and live in Niger Republic. Businessmen, out of fear of being kidnapped, they work in Katsina, make their money in Katsina. They bought houses in Niger Republic. That is where they sleep. Once it is 6 p.m., they've gone. It's such a massive shame. This shouldn't be happening to us as a people, you know. And then, of course, the economy is in a tailspin. We are facing a serious energy crisis. People can hardly make ends meet. Why would they want to stay in a country like that? They would rather go abroad for greener pastures. There are many Nigerians who have gone to Togo, who have gone because Nigeria is no longer attractive to many of them to stay in. We will just continue to appeal to our governments to do the needful and make this country truly worth living in. I know that a lot of Nigerians are disappointed about how things are in their country, but that is also one reason they have to use their votes wisely in the 2023 election. They've got to choose the right people. People who make good things happen for our country.
Yeah.
Those are the people that we need.
All right. Okay. So Moses Oriade is saying, BKO, thanks for the good work you're doing for Nigerians. And there is another comment here. Ebenezer Obe, Felix Akiode says, spot on, BKO. So we have a lot of people who are agreeing with your submissions. And then we, the team of Issues with Jide, wishing you congratulations. We are also extending our congratulations to you. We are rejoicing you, for the award, the recent award as the best journalist, if I'm correct, and also the award that the Journalist Hangout got. And also we are saying belated happy birthday to Mama, its second birthday. What do you say to that, BKO? Congratulations altogether.
Yes. I'm grateful. My mom's birthday is 24. Mine is 28. So on Monday is my birthday. I thank God for sparing my life, sparing the life of my mom. So on Monday, we will do our best to celebrate activity.
Makes sense, makes sense. I'll definitely be at the office then. So we really appreciate it. And that's our show for today's edition of Issues with Jide. Special thanks to you, BKO, for those insightful analyses as always. Thank you. And thank you to our audience for joining us on every edition. You can see the program again anytime by subscribing to our YouTube channel, TVC News. Click on the subscribe button to get the latest information. On behalf of the team, I'm Ibrahim Shita. See you again next edition. Bye for now.